Oh, great. Welcome to the BuildStick building system. This was not a good start. Now that I'm not dying, welcome to the BuildStick building system. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the new reworked BuildStick building system. The first thing you want is two engrams, which is the blueprint stick and the build stick, which both have new pictures and models. Once you have those two, simply craft both of them and put them in your hotbar. The first one we're going to cover is the blueprint stick. To use this, simply equip it and then press your inventory button. This will display a menu. It's sort of a creative menu where you can select all of the structures that you want to build. Now sometimes this menu gets stuck, as you can see, and you can't click or interact with it. Simply hide your HUD and then you can interact with it. This HUD button is found right here, called Toggle HUD. Now to go over the menu itself, there's three tabs up the top. The first one is the material. Currently we only have stone. The second one is the size. Most of the objects will be found in 500. And the last one is all the objects you can build. And we have a search bar. The names displayed on the objects are the exact names that you would have to type if you wanted to find something. So let's say we want to find the triangle foundation. We can just type any letters and it will return anything with those two or those letters in it. The little green boxes on the side are the size types. So the first one is standard, left, right, both, ceiling, left ceiling, ceiling right, and ceiling both. We also have a favorites button. Currently we don't have anything favorited, but if you right click on one of the objects and then press one of your hotkeys, you will favorite that to that button. Now each of the objects only costs 5 stone currently, or 20 stone. To be able to place down an object, you need to have enough stone. Now to show you how the blocks work. So for now we will select the standard foundation. We will turn the HUD back on. And as you can see now we have a temp place object that will show us exactly what the object looks like when it's built. To put this down, simply left click and you'll put down a blueprint. Now each object has its own snap points where you can snap objects to it, and depending on what object you have selected, different snap points will appear. To hide this display, simply press your reload button and you will hide the preview. Now if we were to select a wall, as you can see the snap points change. Now let's make a quick house. First thing we're going to need is some foundations. Let's make a 3x3 house. There's our floor. Now we can switch to the build stick and actually build the blueprints. Left click will build the blueprints, right click will destroy the blueprints. You can also destroy any build stick buildings as well as repair them. We'll put that one back. Now, if you're an admin or a server admin or on single player, you can press your Dino Break button and you will enable cheat mode, and then everything will build instantly. Now that the base is done, let's add some walls. Now this is where the little green boxes on the left hand side will come in handy. For the walls, we want only the ceiling types. Then we want to start with the left wall. And as you see, it misses a one wide wall on the side. Then we can do the right wall. And then maybe some windows. And finally, a door frame. Now we have two choices of door frames. We have a large door frame, or we have a small door frame. For now, we'll use the small door frame. And the doors for the small are located in 250 and then doors. And you have to turn standard back on. Now let's build the door frame and the door so we can actually get out of the building. Now, as you may notice on the inside, you can't actually see how much health the blueprint has, but if you go on the outside, it will display. Now the corners will have this one little gap missing. This you can fill in with pillars. This is so later on you can have like a stone house with wooden pillars or metal or whatever you want, just to make it look nicer. And then lastly, we need the roof. Which is under standard. Now the reason we did the ceiling ones is so when the roof snaps on, it is perfectly aligned and they won't have edge parts sticking through and fighting for texture priority. Now we can pull out the build stick, turn on cheat mode, and build the structures. I ignore all the building rubble, I forgot to turn that off. We could also add some window covers. And now we have a cozy little house. And then if we want, we could add a staircase to the front of our house. But what happens if we wanted to do like a bridge across the river? Now in the default game, that's a rather challenging task. But with the build stick, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is grab your foundations, line up where you want on the floor, and then simply build across. And if you're a server admin or you just want to build for fun, this is a lot easier. Now, the good thing with my mod is everything is 100% modular. So it doesn't matter how far we build out, everything will always snap back together. I also have a few other shapes, and we'll be expanding upon all the shapes that we have now. For instance, we have the quarter circle foundation. We have the quarter circle foundation. If you press, I think it's melee, which is control for me, you can rotate the objects. We have a triangle foundation. Again, you can rotate these. And lastly, the U foundation. All of these different types of foundations also come with their own set of walls, windows, and doors. So let's add windows to our U foundation. Let's have them be ceiling sized. And then let's stick a ceiling on top as well. And again, everything is perfectly modular and will fit together perfectly. You might notice this inner corner here. That is where one of the triangle pillars will fit in. Now, for the moment, these are only temporary structures. They will be remodeled later on and retextured so they're not so tiley. I hope you enjoyed this demo with the build stick. There will be some more additions later on, such as pathing system, so you can build spline-based paths between structures, as well as additional blocks, better textures, and much better meshes.